All right. Good morning. It is first thing in the morning. As you can see, I am dressed to go get some exercise. But first, I have some leftover baked potatoes that I want to chop up and just make like some fried potatoes for the kids for when they get up before my son goes out and does whatever he's going to do. And I have plans to go get my blood drawn on this morning, so I wanted to eat first, which was not smart. I called the doctor and made the appointment and asked if I could get my blood done before the appointment. And they said, oh, yeah, just make sure it's, 5 days before your appointment. And I was like, yeah, totally. I can totally do that. And then I get to the lab and they're like, are you fasting? And I was like, no. Am I supposed to be? And they're like, yeah, you're supposed to be fasting. Well, I'll come back tomorrow. Thank you. Jeez. So I have these pieces of bell pepper left over from, a meal. And then I have a piece of an onion. And I chopped all of that up for myself. I'm going to make fried potatoes for myself too. But I'm going to put peppers and onions in it. And I'm going to fry some eggs. And it's going to be delicious. I've been hungry, very hungry for the month of, I'm eating a yogurt right now because I'm not going to eat these potatoes before I go run. But I have been trying to get more exercise. I've been doing 4 miles a day, about a mile of running, and I just noticed that I'm hungry. So I need to concentrate on eating better foods, but just gotta fuel the body. This is a lemon meringue oikos yogurt, and it is so good. Tastes like dessert. So anyway, in this little cast iron pan in the front, I am just frying up some potatoes for the kids and a little olive oil and butter. And then in the further pan, I cooked up my onions, and then I added the bell pepper, and just there I added the potatoes. I just didn't put the butter in mine. I just used a little olive oil. I put salt, pepper, onion powder, and paprika in mine, just to give it that little color. And also, I like seasoned salt on my potatoes, but we don't buy it anymore. So I just do salt and paprika, and it works out perfectly. And here I am taste testing the kids' potatoes because, potatoes need a good amount of salt. And I wanted to make sure they tasted good before I served them to the kids. So they were good. I gave you the thumbs up, and they were yummy. I don't know about you guys, but if you take a leftover baked potato and fry it up for breakfast in the morning, so good. I love the way leftover potatoes are fried for breakfast. And I'm trying to keep the kitchen clean because I'm going to be in here for most of the day. So just doing a couple dishes by hand, mainly because I don't want to empty the dishwasher. It is not my favorite job, and there's only a few things in here, so I'm just trying to get this done. I'm also trying to clean out the sink because I'm going to be using it here in a few minutes to deal with these potatoes that are on the counter. So I'm just wiping the counters. The kids' potatoes are done. I'm just putting them on 2 plates because if I don't, someone will come eat almost all of them. And then the other child won't get, enough. So, ooh, that pan is hot. So I had to put that towel back on there a little better. It was burning my hand. So when I'm done with my cast iron pans, normally, as long as they're not too dirty, I can just scrub them with a scrub brush and some hot water. I put them back on the stove. I let it heat up. I was showing you there. It was about 7 o'clock. And when it gets hot, I spray it with a little Pam spray. Works perfectly. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, my name is Mandy, and today I thought we would just hang out in the kitchen together. I have some potatoes that I peeled and chopped up last night. They have been soaking all night long to try to get some of the starch off of them. So we are going to can those, pressure can those. I'm also, hold on. I'm also hoping to make some bagels today. I've been watching another channel on YouTube, and she's been making some bagels. It's Tamra. I can't remember the name of her channel right now. I want to say, like, I don't know, I'll put it on the screen. My mind doesn't work in the morning. So as you saw, I got up and made breakfast. Caitlin ate her potatoes. She put cheese on top of them, and I reminded Wesley like 3 times before he left, and he didn't eat them. So I'm gonna throw them in with mine, and I'll just make that more than 1 serving. I'll eat it again tomorrow. So I went out and exercised, took a shower, obviously. I have to go get some blood work done. So I'm gonna reheat that, fry 2 eggs. I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna make an iced coffee right now. And I don't have an appointment. It's just gonna be like a walk-in. I'm gonna go walk in and see if I can get my blood drawn this morning. It's 9:30 right now. And then I'll come home and we'll can these potatoes and see what else we get done today. So let me get some ice. I just have this vanilla latte, and I'm adding some Coffee Mate pumpkin spice creamer. Caitlin and I actually went out and got Starbucks. We got our first pumpkin spice frappuccino like 2 weeks ago, and we did not enjoy it. It was not pumpkin spicy. So we went back like a week later, and I got an iced pumpkin spice latte. Same thing. It almost tasted like caramel with cinnamon on top. It was very disappointing, but this combination, much cheaper, and it tastes really good. I wouldn't even have got the iced latte, but I had some money on my card, so I ended up getting it, and Caitlin got like a mocha cookie crumble or something. But anyway, iced coffee, breakfast, and then I'm gonna go run out, and when we come back, we will get started on this project that I don't even know if I'm gonna get all these canned, because my pressure canner only holds 7 quarts. I don't know if that's 7 quarts or not, but it has to come to pressure, which takes a while, and then it has to be in the canner for 40 minutes. So I don't know. If it's a lot more, I might do 2 batches, but if I just have a little bit of potatoes left over, I'll probably just leave them prepped in the fridge for the week or for the weekend. Yeah, so iced coffee. All right, and I'm just chatting with Caitlin here while I make this big old iced coffee. This is my 2nd cup of coffee for today. Running on coffee. All right, there it is. This should keep me going for a while. I need to get some more of this. It's still pretty warm. For a while I wasn't really drinking them, and then I was just buying like the Stoke like cold brew because it was a little bit cheaper. But these are on sale this week at Kroger for $5. I'm thinking about going and getting a couple. So we'll see. Aren't these cups adorable? I got them last year at Walmart, and I was so excited to bring them down from the attic last week. So cute. All right, I'm hungry. Let's cook. All right, so as you saw before, everything is already cooked in this pan. I'm just heating it up as I sip on my delicious coffee, and then I realized I have no eggs in here. So I went out to the garage and got some eggs. It's so convenient having extra stuff out in the garage where I can just go and get it instead of like going to the store. You know what I mean? It's great. So I'm just gonna plate up my food here. This was such a good breakfast. So good. Not the healthiest, but so delicious. All right, so I'm putting the eggs back. I brought out some croissants that I got on clearance a couple days ago and heating one up for Caitlin in the microwave. All right, here is breakfast. These potatoes, I cooked extra big potatoes last night in the Instant Pot, and just for this reason, Clayton even got up this morning. I kind of like sat in bed for a minute, and when I came out here, he was already cutting one up. Leftover baked potatoes are so good as fried potatoes. Yum, yum, yum. All right, I'm gonna go and eat this. So good. Can't forget my coffee. All right, I'm back. Ponytail. I have transferred, or I have moved from coffee to water. I have some water here in this cup, so now I'm cleaning again, cleaning up the kitchen from breakfast. It never ends, does it? I just would like to start with a clean stove and kitchen before I make a new mess. It doesn't make any sense, but it just makes me feel better. I nothing's more stressful to me than a big old pile of dishes in the sink. So I'm filling up this kettle with water to start getting it hot because I need it for canning my potatoes. And I got some ice water in my cup. Man, I replaced the filter in the fridge for the water filter. Oh my gosh. I think the last one I got was defective or something. The water tasted terrible the entire time I had it, and I think I got it back in March. So, like 5 months, I've been drinking nasty water. Or maybe I haven't. I have not been drinking enough water. But oh my gosh, it's so much better now with the filter being good. It's a good filter. It's a good one. So I've been enjoying the ice water again. Thank goodness. I went through like the hottest part of summer with nasty tasting water. But anyway, again here, just doing a few dishes, cleaning out the sink. You guys know I have switched from sponges to washcloths, and I'm not really hating it. Like, sponges have become so expensive. It's easy. Just having a washcloth, throwing it in the washer, and using it again. I don't know. So I took those clean dishes out of the sink, rinsing the sink out because I know I have to strain those potatoes. And, just want a clean place to work. I also need to wash these jars. They're already clean. I put them in the cabinet clean, but, I just want to make sure there's no like dust or anything in them. So I filled up the sink with water, put some dish soap in there, put the jars in there, and I'm just going to let them sit for a few minutes, and then I'll come back and wash them out. I thought maybe the lighting would be a little better with the blinds closed, but I just don't have good lighting in my kitchen, and it's like kind of cloudy outside today, so I don't know. So this is my pressure canner. I store it in the garage, so definitely got to clean it up a little bit. It sounded like there was sand on the bottom while I was moving it on the countertop, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so frustrating. I hate that noise. Anyway, I'm rinsing it out. Luckily, it fits in my sink, and I can just put some water in it that way. You really don't need a lot of water in your pot. If you're pressure canning, I think it was like 3 quarts or something, but I ended up putting too much and had to take some more out a little bit later, you'll see. But I am just washing out these jars. Now, the, what is it, USDA or whatever, even the Ball website does not recommend raw pack canning your potatoes, and that is what I'm doing today. It recommends you hot pack them, which means you are heating up the potatoes and water, and then you're packing them into jars. Well, I watched a lot of videos on raw packing last year, and I love it. It worked fine. All of my jars sealed, all the potatoes were good, so I'm perfectly happy with taking a chance and raw packing my potatoes. So I got a bunch of lids out. I got some rings out, And I'm just going to transfer these potatoes into this container and kind of like rinse off the little bit of starch that is, floating around in there, because that's why I soaked them, to get the starch off. All right, so I have my jars just washed. They were already clean. I washed them again just to be safe. And I don't have to sanitize these because I'm pressure canning them, and they're gonna be getting hot enough in the pressure canner to sanitize them. So I'm not gonna worry about any of that. I do have the rings in the sink. I'm gonna wash those. And then I have my lids over here. These are brand new lids. These are Kerr lids, which might be my problem. Sometimes when I put the lid on, the ring won't go on correctly. So I might need to find Kerr jars. We'll see. We will see. So I'm gonna do the salt last. Every quart gets 1 teaspoon of salt. So all I'm gonna do, my water's cooled down, I'm gonna put these lids in it just to sanitize those. I'm gonna fill these jars with potatoes. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of salt, put the lid and ring on, put them in the pot. Oh no, I'm gonna put the potatoes in and the salt. I'm gonna fill them with boiling water from my kettle over there. And then lids, rings, put them in the pot. This is not on, this is just warm water from the sink. You want to make sure that you're putting these jars in warm water, not hot boiling water, because they're not gonna be that hot. Once I put the boiling water over the room temperature potatoes, it's not gonna be boiling hot anymore, it's just gonna be hot. I'm gonna do hot jars into hot water, and then I'm going to bring this up to a boil, and then it'll come to pressure and all of that. So this is not a canning tutorial. I just thought I would explain what I'm doing to you, what I'm doing to you. So it made sense. So, okay, let's get going. All right, and I will say again, I'm a beginner. Don't do what I'm doing. Look up your own research, watch some videos, Google some stuff. Just do what you're comfortable with. Canning is kind of I find it to be a little bit of a scary thing, especially pressure canning. You don't want to be eating food that could, make you sick. So do what you're comfortable with doing. And I do want to also say you have to debubble your jars. These potatoes, because I put them in there raw, they are going to have a lot of bubbles in there, lots of air bubbles. So get a butter knife out or a chopstick. I use a wooden chopstick. Before my oldest daughter moved out, she insisted on having chopsticks to eat Chinese food with. I was trying to find a hair that was in my eye right there. And so I have all these wooden chopsticks, which is fine. They work perfectly for this concept. So, all right, I'm just cramming the potatoes in there, pretty much getting as much as I can so there's not any space after they cook, because they get a little soft and they get a little smaller, and sometimes you will have just empty water at the bottom of your jars after you've canned them. I just want to make sure it's all potatoes. So I put my teaspoon of salt in there. I'm filling them up with boiling hot water. Man, I love this electric kettle. I'm so glad I got it. I don't know what I did without it for so many years, but you can see getting that, I almost said toothpick, chopstick in there, getting all those bubbles out. Really take your time. Make sure you get them all out. And then the salt gets worked down in there, and I'm gonna wipe all of the rims and then put my lids on. I know nowadays everybody is using 4 jars lids. These are not 4 jars lids. These are Kerr canning lids that I bought at Walmart. That's what I got for you today. So I'm trying to get these, what are these called? Rings on the jars. I struggled with one, but it ended up fitting on another jar, so it worked out fine. And here I'm taking some jars out to take some water out, because the more water that's in there, the longer it's going to take to come to pressure. And I'm just I don't know. It just felt like there was too much water. So there they are, all ready to be canned. All right, I got the lid on. It took some work. There's only one way to put this lid on, so I have to literally like spin it like a whole turn trying to fit it on the top, but it's okay, I got it. I got a new gauge just a couple of weeks ago, so Clayton put that on for me. I also got a new seal around the, you know, on the inside. This little piece right here is new, so I'm feeling really good about this. It should work great. So what I'm gonna do is turn the stove on. I'm going to wait for steam to come out of this little valve. I'm gonna let the steam come out for 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna put my weight on top of it. And when this gets to, what did I say? 12, I believe, 12 pounds. So right about there. I will set my timer for, gosh, I can't even remember what it was now. 40 minutes for quarts. So when this gets to 12 pounds, I'll set my timer for 40 minutes, and I'll have to just watch it to make sure it doesn't go like above or below 12. So that's what we're gonna do. I will show you them when they are all done. All right, my timer just went off, so I am going to very carefully, usually I do this with tongs, add the weight. And then when the gauge gets up to 12 pounds, I will set the timer again. All right, so now we're gonna start on the bagels while that's coming up to pressure. This is from Sophisticated Gourmet, and these are supposed to be like New York style bagels, you know, like with a good chew and all that good stuff. Now the instructions were kind of weird. Like you had to put the part of the water, the sugar and the yeast in your bowl, don't stir it, and then, you know, come back in 5 minutes and then you can stir it up. And then you add flour and salt together, you make a well, you add the yeast mixture and the rest of the water, and you like slowly work it in. Well, I wasn't about to do all that. So I did the yeast, sugar, and the water. I stirred it up, and then I added the flour, the salt, and, gosh, did I put salt in there? Yeah. And flour, salt, oh, and the rest of the water. And then I'm going to mix it up here, and then it says to knead it for 10 minutes, and I just let my mixer knead it for 10 minutes. All right, super noisy in here right now. I'm at about 13 pounds of pressure, and I don't really want to turn it down anymore, so that's fine. But for these bagels, it's 2 teaspoons of yeast, 4.5 teaspoons of sugar, 1 1/4 cups warm water, 3.5 cups bread flour, and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And we'll see how it turns out. This is my first time ever making bagels, so I'm excited. All right, so now I'm just kind of stuck in the kitchen. I need to keep an eye on this pressure gauge and make sure it gets to 12 pounds of pressure, and then starts my timer. And then I have to keep an eye on it to make sure it doesn't go up too much, because if it pressure cooks too long, the potatoes will get mushy, and I really want to keep the potatoes, you know, nice and firm. So I'm also letting my bread just go ahead and knead. Oh yeah, I got myself an Oreo there. Just what I needed. I needed a little pick-me-up, and an Oreo is what it was. So I'm gonna sit here and watch my bread knead. Oh, I was gonna say that the recipe says you're gonna have a moist, firm dough after you mix in the water. You may need half a cup more water, and you may need half a cup more flour. But what does a moist, firm dough mean exactly? So my dough wasn't sticking to the sides of the bowl, which, you know, normally when you're making bread, that's what you want. You want it to come away from the sides of the bowl. I don't know, it was a little sticky. I just kept adding a little bit of flour to it so I could manage it, but moist, firm dough. I don't know what that means. All right, so I got my dough out of the bowl. I'm going to go ahead and spray it with some olive oil spray. I'm going to flour this dough a little bit because it's sticking to my hands really bad, as you can see right there. Little sticky. It's all right. I got it all worked out. I just kind of peeled it off my hand and tried to work some more flour in there. It was fine. I'm telling you, this is what a moist, firm dough looks like. I'm just kidding. I don't know. But it was fine. So add a little more flour. I'm just trying to, I don't even know why I'm bothering with this. I guess I'm trying to get it in a ball before I put it in the bowl. All right, we're gonna let that rise for 1 hour or until doubled. And of course, it's pretty warm in here right now, so we shall see. All right. All right, it's been 40 minutes. Still looking good. Just over 12 pounds, but that's okay. I'm just gonna turn it off. The bread still has about 40 minutes. I don't think it'll take that long. It's already risen a lot, but we'll let it hang out for a little while longer. All right, I very carefully moved my canner over to this side. It is almost, the pressure is almost at 0, but not quite. So we'll just leave it there. But I've got my pot over here for boiling the bagels. The dough has definitely doubled. So the instructions say to punch it down and let it rest another 10 minutes. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Ooh, it's a nice soft dough now. Okay, punch it down. I'm gonna cover it back up and set a timer for 10 more minutes. All right, after 10 minutes, you are going to split your dough into 8 different pieces. Of course, I had to get my scale out and, have each one as close to perfect as possible. Not perfect, but the same weight, at least, the same size. And I'm just shaping them into a nice smooth ball so that my bagels will have like a nice smooth skin on them. And then you just poke your finger through the middle of it and kind of twist your fingers around to make the hole a little bit bigger and sit for 10 more minutes. These are gonna sit, well, they're supposed to sit for 10 minutes. They only have just over 4 minutes left. I'm gonna get out all my toppings and get that ready. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of baking soda to this pot. We're gonna boil them, put them on a parchment sheet lined paper or cookie sheet, and then put the toppings on them. I have the oven set at 425, and they are gonna bake for 20 minutes. So let's do it. All right, so my water was already boiling. I just needed to prepare like my station here, so when they came out, I would be ready. This was, it was really easy. I would definitely try it again. I got my baking soda in there and the water foamed up. I wish I had a better tripod so you guys could really see what I was doing, but I could almost fit all of the bagels in that pot. I probably could have, but I just didn't want to push it. All right, I have a plate of sesame seeds here. I'm gonna dip one in it when it comes out. Might have to put some more on there. I also have everything but the bagel seasoning. I'm the only one that likes this, so I'm just gonna do one with everything but the bagel seasoning. And then 2 of them I'm gonna do jalapeno and cheese. All right, so I'm just pulling these out. I tried dipping them in the toppings, but it didn't work as well as I had hoped. I can hear my jars in my pressure cooker. I can hear them popping because they're sealing But I can't get the lid off, so I'm just gonna wait for it to cool down a little bit longer. I'm just putting these jalapenos on a paper towel to dry them off a little so they won't be wet. And then 2 of the bagels will get like 4 jalapeno slices, and then this thick cut cheese. So like I mentioned before, Tamara over at Southern Wife Everyday Life, she's always making cheese bagels. So when I saw those cheese bagels, I was like, yeah, I need to make some jalapeno cheese bagels. I think Clayton would really like that. So here you can see I've got sesame seeds, everything but the bagel. I've got some plain ones. I know Caitlin won't like any of the flavors. I have a plain cheese and then the 2 jalapeno cheese bagels. Hopefully all the cheese just stays on these while they're cooking. And here are the potatoes fresh out of the canner. They're still bubbling. I think every single one of these is already sealed like before I took it out of the pot. So that is so exciting. And here are the bagels. I forgot to do the egg wash. They might have been a little browner if I did, but I think they look okay. I thought they would be fluffier, maybe puff up a little more in the oven, but they didn't puff up any more than what they did in the boiling water. But they look nice. All right, this was a little bit of a different video for me, but I'm exhausted. I'm done in the kitchen for the day. I just gotta make spaghetti, and I already have sauce in the fridge open. That's mainly why I'm making it, because I had opened this up for some pizzas and I need to use it up. So that's gonna be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. It was fun. I love being in the kitchen and doing fun little projects like that. We were gonna make some pumpkin bread, but it's probably gonna be tomorrow, and I'm probably gonna do another batch of potatoes in a couple of days. So if you guys enjoyed, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe for more, and let me know down in the comments if you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.